Hello and welcome. I'm your host KB, and thank you for joining me for another titillating episode of KB's Thoughts. I've spoken a bunch about Scooby-Doo on this very channel, and with good reason, because he's one of the most iconic animated characters of all time. As mentioned previously, I'm by no means a Scooby-Doo expert, especially when it comes to the more modern stuff, as there's always new TV series and specials coming out, and it just kind of all blurs together for me. One of the things that has always grabbed my attention when it comes to Scooby-Doo is the crossovers, so I was really intrigued with the recent release of the Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog special. On the surface, it does seem like a bit of an odd mashup, but it still makes a hell of a lot more sense than the Scooby-Doo WWE crossover. Yeah, that was actually a thing. For some reason. So the full title for the movie is Straight Outta Nowhere, Scooby-Doo Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, which is obviously a super catchy name and just rolls right off the tongue. Released on September 14th of this year, the direct-to-video movie has a feature-length runtime coming in at 78 minutes. Now, the reason I thought this was an odd choice for a crossover was due to the lack of exposure that the Courage franchise has had over the past decade. I was never particularly fond of the show myself, but it was definitely a success during its original 4-season run between 1999 and 2002. It still has many fans today, but I wasn't sure just how much of a demand there would be for this type of revival. The entire series was released on HBO Max's streaming service in January of this year, so it could have been the catalyst for this revival, but I can't find any info regarding the show's streaming numbers to back this theory up. As mentioned before, I was never really a fan of Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I was familiar enough with the series to be interested in this special. So admittedly, I'm not very well versed in the property, so forgive me in advance if I miss any key points or references in this video. The special starts off with the Mystery Inc. gang wrapping up one of their mysteries, and while this is happening, Scooby-Doo finds himself somewhat entranced by a weird signal that seems to be only affecting him. Acting strangely, he then runs off into the night, and realizing he's done a runner, the crew chases after him. The signal ends up leading him to the town of Nowhere, where he bumps into Courage, who is also being affected by this odd noise. Later on in the special, we find out that the signal has been sent on a frequency which is picked up by dogs, but not humans. As Scooby's friends finally catch up with him, the group is then attacked by giant cicadas and seek refuge inside Courage's farmhouse. With their fear to bond them, Shaggy, Scoob, and Courage quickly become friends, and the collective group of Courage and his owners, Muriel and Eustace, along with Scooby and the gang, head over to Nowhere's mayor's house after receiving a mysterious invite. From here, the story gets a bit wonky as the group discovers the source of the signal is coming from a computer in the town's museum, and that there is this meteor which is warping reality and is the cause of these strange and unusual events. But it all leads to the final act, where Courage must tackle his fear and battle the Queen Cicada, and the Scooby Gang can unmask the villain or villains who are behind it all. All in all, it's a pretty fun special, but I feel like the story's lacking coherency at times, as it feels like there's just a bunch of different elements thrown together. There's some good, genuine humour, although there are some cringy moments like this.
I'm a well-to-do dude with a 1% freaking nightmare.
No, thank you. Okay, to be fair, I'll give it another go.
See if I care. Cause I got more green in the tree, yo.
Nope, can't do it. Yes, unfortunately that actually happened. I don't understand the logic behind including a Eustace rap sequence, but they did it and it was really bad. It also goes on for way too long.
Out of nowhere.
I do really enjoy the animation as it's super bright and fun to look at. Some of the segments, such as Scooby and Courage being affected by the signals, lead to some really fun and trippy visuals, which feel like something out of a fever dream. Whoa. On the Scooby side of things, the character designs and animation has a bit more realism to them, which makes the inclusion of Courage a bit jarring due to the very cartoony nature of his design. Having the story take place mostly in nowhere was a good choice, as I think the Courage characters would have felt more out of place in Scooby's environment. The plot device with the meteor and the mixing of realities makes this clash of style make more sense overall. And while I initially thought it was a weird matchup of properties, the similarities between the two cowardly dogs and their usually spooky environments do really mesh well together. So having watched the special, in retrospect, it does seem like kind of a perfect matchup. I think it also works to team up Courage with Scooby and Shaggy, as he doesn't have much understandable dialogue, so it does help having other characters to drive forward the story on what is a longer special, as I don't think Courage would be able to carry a feature-length special on his own. Although I did have fun with this, I'm not necessarily sure it will appeal to Scooby fans outside of the more die-hard fans. But if you are a fan of Courage the Cowardly Dog, I'm sure you will love seeing the character again. Either way, it's a pretty unique special, and it's got me pondering just who Scooby and the gang might meet next. Once again, thank you very much for watching this episode. Please subscribe to the channel, maybe give the video a like or a share, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time.